Is AI making us dumber? A study recently done in Society showed that those people who rely on AI heavily have significantly lower critical thinking abilities than those that use AI less, and this is particularly true for younger people. Honestly, I've felt this happening to me months before I even saw this research. I've now written many articles that I simply scrapped because I don't even know if I believe them anymore. That said, AI is here to stay. It will quickly become a required skill for most modern knowledge workers, so we have a choice: to learn how to use this tech to our advantage or risk letting it take advantage of us. Hi, I'm Ryder Carroll, creator of the bullet journal method, personal operating system for writing a better life. In this video, I'll share my strategy for future-proofing my thinking in this age of AI. To do this, I'll show you a simple framework I call M.I.N.D. Let's dive in. AI now offers us effortless ways to offload our thinking. That's useful for speeding up work we don't care about, and I'm not against that. What worries me is offloading thinking that we do care about. See, AI doesn't just make thinking easier, it makes not thinking irresistible. Even when we're working on something that matters to us, we will hit resistance. Questions we can't answer, ideas that won't land, dots that we can't connect. Thinking can be very uncomfortable. Now, with just a prompt or two, AI can relieve that discomfort. And the more uncomfortable, the more tempting AI becomes. When we default to AI too quickly, though, we lose two things: the mental exercise that strengthens our critical thinking, and the sense of accomplishment that comes with breakthroughs that keep us showing up to keep thinking over and over again. I'll be the first to admit that I've used AI to offload some important thinking. But when I do, it's much harder for me to remember or even understand what I was talking about. I also don't care about the finished product nearly as much. So on the one hand, there is work that I won't publish because AI's taken too much out of it for me. There's not a lot of me left in the work. On the other hand, I've put an incredible amount of myself into work that is in no way rewarding. And for this kind of work, AI is a game changer. This is where the M.I.N.D framework comes in. It's a simple decision tree that helps us use AI more intentionally, and it consists of 4 questions. 1, manage. Do I need to think about this? 2, ideate. Do I feel excited to think about this? 3, nurture. Do I need to nurture my thinking? 4, deliver. Do I need to test my thinking? Depending on the answer, each comes with 2 parts: an intention, which is simply an if-then rule for when and how to use AI, and a job. It's a request that clarifies what you need AI to do for you, what success looks like. It's like a prompt, but it's more like a job description. Think of it like this: an intention equals why you're using AI. The job equals what you need from it. Our attention is our most valuable resource. Our life is simply a reflection of what we pay attention to. This first question is here to make sure that we invest our attention wisely, because not all thinking is created equal. As a business owner and an entrepreneur for over 2 decades now, I can't tell you how much of my life I've wasted thinking about things that were required but didn't make me any smarter or better at my job. If anything, it often slowed my professional development. With AI, that's all changed. One of the most productive things that we can do is delegate thinking that we're not good at, interested in, or both. AI is perfect for a lot of this type of work, and that's what I use it for. That said, I've added one rule to help future-proof my thinking in this department as well. So, my intention: if I decide I would pay someone else to think for me, then I will write a short job description before prompting AI. The job description forces me to define what I need and what success looks like. This isn't always clear to me before I do this exercise. In a real office, if the job description isn't clear, neither is the resulting work. And the same is true for AI. When I skip this step, I find myself wasting a lot of time distracted by AI side quests or information rabbit holes. For example, I recently used this for a 100-page lease that I got for my apartment from my landlord. So I gave AI the following job: You are a lawyer specializing in New York City renters' rights. Find anything renter hostile in this lease. I got a section-by-section breakdown with nearly a dozen red flags in under a minute. So what would have taken me an entire afternoon or something I would procrastinated on for weeks and weeks and weeks took under a minute. Here's the thing. I've signed this lease 7 times before, and I never noticed half of this stuff. So with using AI, in just a few moments, I was able to distill what actually was worth my attention, freeing me up to focus on things that actually mattered. This is the power of managed thinking, knowing when to delegate and how to do it without outsourcing your judgment. Once I've decided the work is something that I need to think about, I ask, do I feel excited to think about this? It may sound like an odd question, but it's kind of critical. Why spend your life developing ideas that don't excite you? My intention here is simple. If I'm not excited to think about an idea, then use AI to find an idea that does excite me. This question helps with both overwhelm of the blank page as well as helping me clarify what parts of work excite me and which don't. For example, I was excited to write this piece, but I wasn't excited about spending dozens of hours digging through research or just finding it. That barrier has stopped me from finishing pieces before because I don't have the time required to hunt down, read, and summarize and vet studies for every single thing that I'm working on. Sometimes it's just too much of a lift. Now I can get AI to do that job for me in moments. Of course, I'll check the sources that it pulls, but overall, it collapses the timeline tremendously, and then I can use it to brainstorm ideas from what it finds. Most of its suggestions are either obvious or irrelevant, but seeing ideas I don't like often sparks ones I do. I find clarity through this contrast, discovering ideas that I'm actually excited to nurture. Do I need to nurture my thinking? If the answer is yes, we are entering a sacred space. It's where I take a seed of an idea and try to grow it into something meaningful. How? By removing every possible layer standing between me and the work. And this often includes AI. So my intention here is pretty straightforward. If I have an idea that I'm excited about, then don't use AI until the first draft is complete. The first draft is the process of connecting the dots. It's to turn information into understanding in a way that can be transmitted and useful to others. When I tried using AI for this kind of work in the past, I would reliably find myself so far away from where I started that I often couldn't find my way back again to the original idea. Part of it is what's known as context rot, where AI loses the plot along the way. You might have experienced this yourself. But I often feel that my brain starts to experience context rot as well. It's hard to describe this other than as a state of anti-inspiration, and I'm not alone in this. A lot of my creator friends have talked about this as well. So you know that spark when you connect 2 dots and you get excited about an idea? It's the opposite of that. It's that sinking feeling of knowing that you've forgotten something important and beautiful. Not only does it leave me feeling disoriented, but it also robs me of my curiosity that I need to keep pursuing this line of thinking. It feels really creepy and empty. So now I just create a draft. I have to see an idea to its first logical conclusion before moving on to the next step in this process. Before I move on, one quick hack for this is doing this phase by hand. I've recently returned to writing parts of articles or scripts like this in my notebook, to prevent me from defaulting to AI when inevitably the thinking gets really hard. It's been a really helpful way to slow down and clarify my thoughts. Sometimes the long way is the short way. Also, AI has come a really long way in being able to read handwriting. So when I'm done writing this, I take a picture with AI and have it transcribe it for me before moving on to the next step. Once I've completed my first draft, I will often return to AI to take advantage of what's to me one of its most powerful features, playing devil's advocate. So my intention is this. If I've completed a draft, then use AI as my editor and fact checker to challenge my thinking and point out opportunities to clearly communicate. Defending your thinking can be one of the best ways to future-proof your mind. How? Because you quickly get to see how well you yourself understand what you're talking about when you're challenged. To be clear, this is not about proving that I'm right. It's about slowing down to see if what I assume to be true is in fact true or not. AI will ask me questions that I don't know the answer to, which is good to know, or will point out facts that negate a claim that I made, which is also good to know. And though this is painful, this is exactly how I develop my critical thinking skills, not to mention learn more about the world. Okay, let's bring this all together. When you have some work to do and you'd like to use AI, try running it through the M.I.N.D framework by asking the following questions. 1. Manage. Do I need to think about this? If the answer is yes, move on to the next question. If the answer is no, then use AI by giving you a specific job, letting you know your needs and what success looks like. 2. Ideate. Do I feel excited to think about this thing? If the answer is yes, move on. If the answer is no, then give AI the job to help you find an idea that you are excited about. 3. Nurture. Do I need to nurture this thinking? If the answer is yes, then don't use AI until you've completed your first draft of the idea. If no, then move on to the next question. Deliver. Do I need to test my thinking? If the answer is yes, use AI as a devil's advocate to challenge your thinking. If the answer is no, go back to the first question. One interesting thing about the M.I.N.D framework is that it isn't totally linear. When you're working on a longer project, you will return to different parts of the model as needed. So far, it's made my relationship with AI feel much more productive because of this. To me, the real risk of AI isn't that we're going to lose our jobs, but that we'll lose ourselves one delegated thought at a time. I like the way that Mark Manson puts it. No matter what, life will be hard. Having a bad job is hard. Having a dream job is hard. Having a bad relationship is hard. Having a good relationship is hard. It's not about trying to create a life that isn't hard. It's about choosing the hard in your life. So the next time you reach for AI, ask yourself, which hard do you want? The hard of thinking for yourself, or the hard of losing your ability to think for yourself? Now I want to hear from you. How are you using AI to future-proof your mind? Let me know in the comments down below. Next week, we're going to do a video on future-proofing your notes, so be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll see you in the next one.